What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Let's get right to the point and talk about some. Yeah, if you've been watching me for some time, you already know what I said. If you have not been watching me for quite some time, welcome, subscribe to my channel, and you know what I just said. Simple as that. So yeah. Today we have this house in one of very remote settlements, somewhere deep inside Russia, maybe somewhere even in Siberia. And this is basically the perfect place for Z-Patriots to exist, to multiply, and to develop this hatred towards everything outside of Russia. Because in no matter which conditions they live, as you can see, this house is barely standing, the windows are like about to fall out, but as soon as you get closer to one of the windows, you can see that they do have these pro-Russian symbols, this Georgievskaya lentочка, what we call it. And this person is like, I don't care how bad I live. All I care about is that we should bring the entire world down. Because we are Z-Patriots. That's the mindset of those people, believe it or not. So that's pretty much it. And so yeah, as always, it is time to get serious. And first of all, let's talk about America secretly sending ultra-long-range ATACMS to Ukraine, and the Pentagon itself did green light attacks against the Crimean Peninsula. They literally said, do it. It is time. Then I'm gonna talk about the president of Belarus Alexander Lukashenko literally going insane at this point, and the statements he made just confirm it. And ultimately I will give you a quick update from the front line and super performance of Ukrainian snipers. And so yes, to begin with American-Ukrainian relationship, you already know about this approved more than 60 billion military support package to Ukraine. 1 billion of support will be delivered to Ukraine as promised within days, so most likely we're gonna see them coming any hour at this point. And there recently was another $6 billion support package approved for Ukraine, which is separate, which is another one. It is not the same part of the package of this 60 billion. This is brand new one, and this one reportedly will include long-awaited, desired and very important Patriot air defense systems. But obviously, one of the most important news about this entire support from America to Ukraine is that reportedly more than 100 ultra-long-range ATACMS were already sent to Ukraine before even this big package was approved, and these are the ones which have the range of approximately 300 kilometers. And if you remember from my previous episode, this will allow to cover the entire Crimean Peninsula and a lot of bordering regions on the territory of Russia. And then once again, the Pentagon itself literally green-lighted the attacks of Ukraine against Crimea, saying that they have to put pressure against Crimea because this is the weak point of Putin, and this is the only way how you can drastically and rapidly change the situation in this conflict. And whenever we do talk about Crimea, one of the very first things that comes in our guys' minds is obviously the Crimean Bridge. So Ukrainians will most likely target it, and at this point right here is the message of one of the Z soldiers, most likely from the peninsula, who is referring either to his assumptions or a gut feeling, or maybe he has some kind of an intelligence data. What he basically says is that he does believe there will be an attack and possibly even a destruction of the Crimean Bridge somewhere between May 7th and 9th. And if you guys already should know at this point, May 9th is probably the biggest patriotic celebration in Russia. This is the Victory Day parade, which Putin loves so much. This is when a lot of statements are made, a lot of predictions are made, and just patriotic feelings of the entire nation are pretty much skyrocketing. This is when a lot of volunteers are starting to join the army to go into Ukraine, so without a doubt this is a significant event for Putin. So if Crimean Bridge is destroyed specifically on that date or before, this will make Putin extremely mad, and this will ruin his holiday, to say the least. And if you guys do agree that Ukraine should not be afraid to strike Crimea, because all this crossing red lines by Putin is just nonsense at this point, nobody believes his threats anymore. So if you believe that Ukraine should do it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. This does help with the algorithm just a little bit. And also do not forget please about my second channel, The Russian Dude Investing, where in my today's video I'll be talking about Google finally for the very first time announcing dividends. Then we're gonna talk about the rebound signs on the stock market and the US debt catastrophe. The link to my second channel and all the other useful links are down below. And so yes, right now let's talk about something which is borderline ridiculous Belarusian propaganda, because we're gonna be citing and quoting the statements from its president Alexander Lukashenko. First of all, he did mention that approximately 120,000 Ukrainian soldiers are amassing to the north of their own country, and they're most likely planning a provocation against Belarus. Well, the only legitimate, the only reasonable question here would be, why would they do it? Unfortunately, they are barely holding as it is their own country. They're right now trying their best to stop the advancement of Russians, so obviously they do not simply have 120,000 extra soldiers to for some reason invade Belarus. This just simply does not make sense. But then, believe it or not, he made even more ridiculous statement. He just said that there is a group of Belarusian opposition who are planning to take under the control one of the regions inside the country, and then they're gonna immediately contact NATO for some support, so NATO sends troops to this small region inside Belarus, and they will be invading Belarus from the inside. Like, yes, it took me some time to say the sentence or paragraph without laughing too much. So here you go, once again, like for the extra effort for me not to laugh too much. Well, Alexander Lukashenko is simply showing where the next attack against Belarus is planning from. But eventually he did make a statement that Belarus is preparing for war, so basically all these statements he previously made, they kinda like, at least a little bit, they do make sense. He wants to show the urgency that something is brewing to the south of the border, that Belarusian people must prepare to defend their motherland, so just in case, if nothing happens, and then he can do provocation against himself, he can then say, well, I told you, now we are going to war. And well, enough of this now. Now let me give you an actual serious update from the south and the east of Ukraine and talk about incredible achievement of Ukrainian snipers who did use extremely advanced scopes. But this chapter I decided to make as a thank you for my current Patreons for supporting my work, because YouTube simply does not reward my videos that much anymore. So guys, if you do want to keep watching the Russian Dude episode and you want to see this extra chapter, please go ahead and check my Patreon. The link is down below. Thank you so much for your support. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget about my second channel, The Russian Dude Investing, and all the other useful links can be found down below. Thank you so much once again for watching, and see you tomorrow.